Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And it is Oscar morning. If you haven't, and you're seeing this, and it's still Oscar morning, go back and watch my final Oscars predictions videos. I did one for above the line and one for below the line winners separately. I would appreciate that. Very excited for tonight. I'll do a video after the show, possibly record my reactions. I don't have a convenient setup to like record myself watching the whole show. So, plus, actually, I like to enjoy watching it with my wife, so it's kind of annoying when I have all this in front of me for 3 hours. Anyhow, I thought today, I've been meaning to do this, would be a reasonable day to do a video of what I would pick for my Oscar ballot from these nominees. I know what a few of you may be thinking. Derek, you can't pick the winners if you haven't seen all the movies. Well, according to every single anonymous Oscar ballot out there, no Oscar voter watches all these movies. So I'm doing just as much work as they are. But like I said, all these anonymous ballots are saying that they're refusing to watch this movie or that movie, or they don't want to watch Dune 2 because they didn't like Dune 1. It's like, if you're an actual Oscar voter, go watch 10 fucking movies. Like, the least you could do is watch the Best Picture nominee. I can understand if you don't watch the documentaries and then you just abstain from voting in that category. That's reasonable. But you can at least watch 10 movies, and that gives you most of the nominees covered. So I will be going off what I have seen, picking my favorites and what I would vote for. Due to having not seen the documentaries or the shorts or enough international films, I'll skip those categories. I'll just do the top 8 categories and a majority of if not all of the craft categories. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up, shall we? I'm using my Awards Expert app just for reference sake. If you are not on Awards Expert, you should do that. You can get it on any device, Apple or Android. It is free and it's fun. One of our own made it, Brother Bro, on the Oscar Expert channel. And follow me on there if you're on there. That'd be cool. Anyways, let's start at Best Song. So the nominees there are El Mal from Emilia Perez, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, The Journey from 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, and Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. I have listened to these songs. It was like a YouTube video where they like makes a compilation of all the songs and scores. So I listened to that a couple times actually. And amazingly, I think the one I would still go for is El Mal from Emilia Perez. That will probably be the only award Emilia Perez would win this evening at my Oscars. But yeah, it's the most catchy, memorable song of the bunch, and that means a lot when it comes to an original song. So, as stupid as that is. Best original score, the nominees are Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wild Robot, and Wicked. I have actually seen all these, so that's good. Um, yeah, I would put it down to Wild Robot, probably Brutalist. Those are probably my two favorite in this category. Once again, had challenges been here, maybe I would have picked it. But my personal favorite, and the one I would vote for, and it's the one I think is going to win at the Oscars, is Daniel Bloomberg's score for The Brutalist. Best sound, we have Dune Part 2, Wicked, A Complete Unknown, The Wild Robot, and Emilia Perez. The one I would probably go for here is, well, there's some good nominees here. I prefer when they have the two categories. I like sound mixing and editing being separate. The problem is people were too stupid to know the difference, and would get weird winners that made no sense and felt backward sometimes. I would still probably go for Dune Part 2 here. My runner up would probably be Wild Robot again. Musicals are good. I like musicals a lot. They usually go for sound mixing, not sound editing. Dune 2 would be like a clear sound editing win if there was two categories. But the way I'm thinking about it is Dune Part 2 would win sound editing and at least get nominated for sound mixing. The rest of these, outside of Wild Robot, wouldn't even get nominated for sound editing normally in a logical world. So that's why I think the definite deserving winner is Dune Part 2 for sound. Visual effects, the nominees are Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Wicked, Better Man, and Alien Romulus. This is easily between Dune Part 2 and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'll be honest, I haven't actually seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I have seen the other ones. I just haven't gotten around to this one. And the visual effects in these movies are always outstanding. And I'll use this weird logic that people like to say. Dune Part 2 is amazing. It's like flawless visual effects. But since the first one had already won, and none of the Apes films have won, even though they probably deserve to win every single time they were nominated, to be honest, I would give this vote to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think it is more impressive work from a visual effects standpoint than Dune Part 2, as perfect as it is. So I would throw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I can't talk this morning, it's too early, a bone and give it my vote for the best visual effects just because they've done such an amazing job with the franchise overall and have had no Oscar recognition for it. Makeup and hairstyling, the nominees there are The Substance, Nosferatu, Wicked, Emilia Perez, and A Different Man. There's no question here that I would be voting for The Substance. Spoiler: The Substance might do pretty well with my picks. But yeah, Substance is my easy win here. My runner-up would have been Nosferatu. Had there been more focus on the makeup, like you could see it more in the film, maybe it would get the edge. And part of me would want to vote for it just because it probably won't win. But it's not like my vote matters, so whatever. Best costume design, there is Wicked, Nosferatu, Conclave, Complete Unknown, and Gladiator 2. Half of me wants to be like, nah, I don't want to vote for Wicked on these. But, costumes, I might just have to go with Wicked. I really want to pick Nosferatu, but I think Wicked is genuinely deserving of costumes. There's a bigger variety of different types of costumes in it, and they're all gorgeous. So I would actually give Wicked my vote for best costume design, but I am like this close to picking Nosferatu. Pretty much every category Nosferatu's up for. It's like this far away from being my pick. I would have nominated it for best picture among other things. So I like that one a lot. If you haven't watched my top 10 of the year video, I did a few weeks or a month or so back. Yeah, I think that was number 4 or something like that in my top 10. Production design, we have Wicked, The Brutalist, Nosferatu, Conclave, and Dune Part 2. This is another one where it's hard to vote against Wicked. I love The Brutalist. I love the theme of the film is all about the design. But Wicked is so fantastical in creating a world essentially out of nothing. Like there was the play, but they had to fill in a lot of gaps. It's not like everything was done in the play and they just copy pasted it. There was a lot that they had to design and invent for the film, despite probably being this close again to picking Nosferatu. Although I prefer the film, I think I would give Wicked the production design award. Best film editing, we have Conclave, Honora, Wicked, The Brutalist, and Emilia Perez. This one's actually tough because none of these are the thing I would actually pick to win. Like if given the choice of other films. Conclave is probably the tightest, best edited film. Like there's no fat on that thing you could possibly trim any farther. Honora is really fun. It's well edited, but it's still too damn long. Like I think it drags in the middle a little bit. Wicked, it's good. It's not bad editing, but it's fine. It's nothing extraordinary in my opinion. Same goes for Emilia Perez. There's just a lot of editing in that one. And then there's The Brutalist, the really really long movie that's really really well edited, all things considered. Like I complained about Honora being too long. The Brutalist, yeah, you could say it's too long, but I'd say it's uses its time better. This is a hard one. Like I didn't plan all these ahead of time. I'm sort of thinking of them on the spot, so they're a little more organic. But you know what? I honestly think I would go for The Brutalist for the best editing, which is weird. It's like the one that barely got into the category. Once again, if Challengers was here, I'd be picking that as the winner. I would want Substance to get nominated, and I would possibly pick that for the winner too, even over Challengers. So those are the two movies that should be here instead of Wicked and Emilia Perez. Let's put it that way. Cinematography, the nominees are The Brutalist, Maria, Nosferatu, Dune Part 2, and Emilia Perez. I have not seen Maria, but nobody else has either. I'm sure it looks gorgeous. It won the ASC award, so it's got to be something special to win that, and like nothing else essentially the entire year. The Brutalist, I think, is going to be the winner at the Oscars, despite not really winning much this year besides I think won the BSC, British Society of Cinematographers, and I won a BAFTA, which is usually enough to predict it. Had it won at ASC, it'd be like a shoe in. If like something else like Nosferatu had won at ASC, I'd probably be picking that for the Oscars, honestly, just because I want a Critics' Choice and ASC. But like I said, I think The Brutalist will win. It's a very deserved winner. I am very happy it's going to win because it's gorgeous. I love the shot on VistaVision uh, look to the movie. Every scene in that movie looks gorgeous, even if it's just people sitting at a table. It looks amazing. Uh, but I would vote. This is the category I would vote for Nosferatu in if I had a choice. If it was my ballot, I would give it to Nosferatu. I think its best chance to win is this category. I think it could legitimately upset. I think it is the runner-up, even under Maria or over Maria, despite its ASC win. I just think more people will have seen Nosferatu, and it's just beautiful. No movie could be so dark yet so easy to watch as Nosferatu. But yeah, that's definitely the thing that stuck out to me the most of the film, even more so than the makeup or the production design, was the cinematography. Best animated feature, the nominees there are The Wild Robot, Flo, Wallace and Gromit, Inside Out 2, and Memoirs of a Snail. I still need to see Memoir of a Snail. But The Wild Robot seems to be eking out the win in this race. That's what I have predicted to win. And I love The Wild Robot. I thought it was fantastic. The movie is beautiful. It's one of those like you could freeze frame any shot of that film and hang it on your wall kind of things. But I honestly would probably vote for Flow. It's more impressive to me, and it tugs on your heartstrings just about as much as Wild Robot. It has a beautiful score, just like Wild Robot. And this movie was made for like peanuts, and it's the most beautiful movie out of these five, in my opinion. And it might just be me being a cat person being partial to it, but I just thought this thing was absolutely gorgeous, even more so than the Wild Robot as far as the hang a frame on your wall territory goes. I would give my vote for Flow. I like voting for the underdog in a lot of categories if I can, so I would give it to that. But the Wild Robot, either one of those two, are going to be amazing winners. Adapted screenplay, we have Conclave, Nickel Boys, A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, and Sing Sing. This is one I think I would just agree with the Oscars on. Just go for Conclave. Like I said, the whole movie is very tight. Like the editing, the dialogue, everything about it is just like you couldn't possibly cut any more of that movie to improve it in any way, shape, or form. Not that it's my favorite movie of the year or anything, but I just think it's one of those perfect scripts that makes the movie that old chestnut of a story, like you can make a good screenplay bad, but you can't make a bad screenplay good. Original screenplay, we have Honora, A Real Pain, The Substance, The Brutalist, and September 5. I have not gotten around to seeing September 5. It is streaming on something, I forget what, but since it only got the screenplay nomination, I haven't put it in the forefront, but I'll definitely watch it within the next few weeks. As good as The Brutalist is, I don't think I would pick it for its writing. I want I don't want to say the weakest part of the movie because that sounds bad, but out of all the things it's nominated for, it's probably the last thing I would give it a win in. This Oscar race is down to Honora, A Real Pain, and I'd say The Substance in third. A Real Pain is a solid screenplay. Like it is like exactly what you think of when you think of original screenplays. I like Honora. I think, like I said, it drags on a little bit, so I think there could be things altered in the screenplay slash edit of this film that would improve the movie. I like the movie, but I'm not in love with the movie like so many people are. I honestly just don't get it as much as I like Sean Baker, and I respect the hell out of him as a filmmaker. I have to go with my favorite in this category. I'm the kind of guy which might not be great when picking winners, but I prefer the most original screenplay to win. So I would actually vote for The Substance, and I want Corley Farger to win at least one award, so I would give her this one. I would prefer that or A Real Pain over Honora. Just for Best Supporting Actor, the nominees there are Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Yura Borisov for Honora, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. I still need to see The Apprentice, so sorry, Jeremy. You would have a shot here, I'm sure. Kieran Culkin is running away with it at the Oscars. I would consider picking him, honestly. But I'm trying to veer away from category fraud if I can help it, uh, which is, a thing. It's prevalent at the Oscars, we all know. I like to refer to supporting actor and actress to best lead performance in a supporting category, not best supporting actor or actress. So I'm going to go with someone who actually is a supporting actor, in the movie that I probably like the most out of these five, at least out of the four I've seen, I guess, I would go for Guy Pearce in The Brutalist. I think I love villain wins in supporting actor. I don't know why. It's just me, I guess. That was my favorite run of like the Oscars was like 2007 through like 2010 with like Javier Bardem, Heath Ledger, Christoph Waltz. It's like that was like my favorite run of the Oscars right there, those 3 years. Supporting actress, we have Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, and Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. I thought Monica was great in the film. I didn't really get anything like I didn't get the feels for her character or her really from the film at all. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I thought she was great. She did a great job. Isabella Rossellini, if she was in like a few more minutes, just a few. She doesn't have to be in the whole damn movie because it's a supporting nomination. I love that she got nominated for such a short performance. But if she was there just a little more, I might honestly pick her. Ariana Grande and Zoe are leads, so I'm not going to pick them, and they wouldn't be my pick anyways, honestly. Um, as good as they both are. I would actually go for Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, which she dominates the second half of that film. I think her character is extremely powerful, especially with her scene towards the end with Guy Pearce. If you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about, where she confronts him and the whole family, and it's this whole thing, and it's this awesome, like, really long take shot, and it's gorgeous. But yeah, Felicity Jones, I think, hit me the hardest out of these performances. All the other ones were just like I enjoyed them. Like Ariana Grande was like, yeah, she's great, she's hilarious, but I've seen that before. I've seen Wicked before. It didn't do anything new to me. And Zoe and Amelia Perez is just the best part of a bad movie. Best lead actor, we have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Ray Fiennes in Conclave, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. Sadly, and oddly enough, I've only seen 3 of these 5. Usually I've seen all the best actor nominees by the time the thing rolls around. But, the two not being in Best Picture nominees hurts it. Um, I know Coleman Domingo is amazing, so I can assume he's amazing in Sing Sing because he's great in everything. And I've seen enough clips of Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice to get the vibes and why he got nominated. He looks fantastic. I love Ray Fiennes in Conclave. I love him in everything. Who doesn't love Ray Fiennes? But it's just one of those that's just a little too understated to get my pick. I love that he's here. If Conclave wins Best Picture, it'll be the third movie Ray Fiennes is in that won Best Picture that he did not win for, which is kind of sad. He should have won for Schindler's List back in the day, let's be honest. Timothy Chalamet did an amazing job, but I am so over biopic movies winning things, especially for acting performances. I don't know why. I loved it back when it was like Jamie Foxx for Ray, and then I could just never do it again. That'd be great. But it just became such a thing for the Oscars that it just got old. So you'd have to blow me away in every possible scenario for me to want to pick a biopic performance, especially a musical biopic performance. But that doesn't take away the fact that Timothy is fantastic in the film. He did all his own singing. I thought he was great. If he does win, I would be upset, but I'd be like, sure, he's great. you know, I think they're gonna give it to him in the future. Like he's young, he's a little boy. He'll get nominated again, even if it's next year, for God's sakes. I think they don't want him like accidentally winning. It's because it's such a weird thing that he won Justice Sag, and winning Justice Sag and then the Oscars is rare. So I think they won't give it to him when he just kind of like trips into winning over Sag. It'll be one of those years like DiCaprio finally winning for The Revenant, where he just sweeps the whole season, and it's just like a foregone conclusion from the day the season begins that Timmy's finally winning his Oscar, even if it's next year. I think it'll happen that way. So I would pick, and it is my preferred performance anyways, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. So I would give The Brutalist all 3 of its acting wins, which I didn't think I would do going into this until I thought about it a little more. But yeah, he's by far ahead to win the actual Oscar, and he's far ahead to get my vote as well. I thought he ran the gamut. They ran the emotional gamut. It was the most interesting, longest running, scope character, and he just had the most passion behind him, I felt, in this lineup that I've seen. But Adrian, he's just amazing for 3.5 hours, carries that movie on his shoulders. He's in all but like one scene of the movie, which is the one I was referring to earlier with Felicity Jones and Guy Pearce. So, yeah, The Brutalist has some damn good performances if you haven't seen it. Best Actress, we have Mikey Madison for Honora, Demi Moore for The Substance, Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, and Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez. Sadly, I have not seen I'm Still Here, like I said. I'm sure she is a worthy winner if it happens. I'll be extremely excited because it'll be a really batshit crazy dark horse win, and it'll be awesome and deserved from what I've heard. Cynthia Erivo is fantastic and Wicked. I just don't think she would win an Oscar for a movie like this, especially now. She hasn't won anything all season. Carla, yeah, we know why she's not winning, and she doesn't deserve to. So, you know, good for your nomination. Happy for you there, but that's where it ends. It's down to Demi and Mikey here, and at the Oscars, I'd say I thought Mikey Madison was great in Honora, and especially seeing her like in real life, she's like the shyest person ever. It seems like, so her going out as a character like that is truly a performance for her. Like it's not how she acts at all in real life. So it is a solid performance. But yeah, not being the biggest fan of the film overall, I don't think I could pick her to win. I would go for Demi Moore for The Substance. I am a sucker for narrative, so I guess I'm a good SAG voter if I was. But I thought she was fantastic. I've never really liked Demi Moore that much as an actress personally. I think the only movie I've ever really loved with her in it is Ghost, and I haven't seen that in years, but I used to watch it all the time as a kid. And but yeah, she's just an actress. I'm like, yeah, she's a famous movie star from the 80s and 90s, but I've never really followed her filmography or liked her work. I guess you could say, other than like, yeah, it's Demi Moore. This is the only thing I've ever seen her in where I was like, wow, she's great. She can be great. So it's deserving this nomination. The movie is my favorite of the bunch by far. And yeah, I would give it to her for the I love the performance and I love the narrative reasons, which is why she might win. And I hope she wins. I'm only picking Honora to win this for so if I'm right, I'm happy, and if I'm wrong, I'm even happier reasons. So yeah, my pick would be Demi Moore for The Substance, and I just need to see horror movies win things. Horror movies need more above the line of wins, so I need it for that. Best Director we have Sean Baker for Honora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, Corley Farja for The Substance, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, and James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. This is a weird category. Honestly, I don't think three of these five, maybe I would say, deserve to be here. Jacques Audiard does not. James Mangold, as great as he is, I would say does not deserve to be in the best directing category. Denis Villeneuve and Edward Berger would be much better picks here. I think they should flip those, and then we'd have a great category. I love James Mangold. He can make a solid movie. He's a great filmmaker that does a movie. Every movie he makes, besides Indiana Jones, which I don't think was his fault, anyways. It's everything is like super competent. Like he'll never make something bad. Like everything is super solid. Like Ford v Ferrari is great. Like I honestly forgot that was him until it just popped in my head. But like he makes perfect Hollywood style movies, whether it's a blockbuster like Logan or a musical biopic like Walk the Line or Complete Unknown. He is extremely competent at filmmaking, and he is always making great stuff. But he's the kind of director that I doesn't really have like a unique voice to him. Like you could watch all of those movies and be like, wow, that was really good. But you can't say, wow, that's a James Mangold picture right there. He's just one of those directors where he's really good, but he doesn't have like a style, I guess, that's like so out there that it's unique, like a Tarantino or an Alfred Hitchcock or something like that. Well, a couple of these other ones I say do have that going for them. Sean Baker being one of them. When you watch a Sean Baker movie, it's a Sean Baker movie. He has his own style, and he always has. That's why I think he's probably going to win this category. Brady Corbet, I don't know if he has a style yet. I've only seen this film, but the way this film is directed is enough for me to consider it a worthy winner if it does. Corley Farja as well definitely has a style to her, even with only a couple of films down. I think it's fantastic. I would go for I'm going to be a broken record. I would pick The Substance for best directing. It's the one that impacted me the most. Brady Corbet's is the most impressive, like in scope and budget ratio. Like The Substance budget for was almost double what The Brutalist was, which is crazy. But I would pick once again my preferred film of the bunch, which makes sense. The Substance for best directing for Corley Farja, and then we'll have another female winning, which would be always fun. But yeah, more horror wins, please. I would if The Substance magically won either screenplay or director, I'd shit my pants in happiness. Otherwise, I would my next vote would definitely go for The Brutalist. It's a worthy winner. I just kind of want to see what this filmmaker does after. It's one of those things like he's so new to the scene. Like this is the first movie he's made that made like a really big splash anywhere, especially in the awards race. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes, but it would be a worthy win just based on this film alone. Like he could have made this and never made another movie, and known, and it'd be a worthy win 100 years from now. Best Picture, the nominees are Anora, Conclave, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Wicked, The Substance, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Dune Part 2, and The Nickel Boys. I think it's obvious where I'm going at this point. I gave The Brutalist 3 acting wins, and I gave it score, and I think I picked it for editing. Actually, I already forgot because I'm just rambling. But, we'll find out when I edit the video. Uh, but I would go for The Substance. I gave it director, I gave it actress, I gave it screenplay, and I gave it makeup. I would give The Substance all 5 of its wins, nominations. I would give it wins in all 5 personally. I love that movie, and then my runner-up would have been The Brutalist if it's not obvious. Not only would I give it these 5 nominations, I would have at least nominated it in supporting actress, in sound, and in editing. I would even give it one in production design. I thought her apartment design and the design of the studio where she was filming in, among other things, were immaculate. So I would honestly give it a nomination there. It's very underrated in its craft. I don't understand how it blew up in the above the line categories and somehow just like whimpered through the craft categories because it's a deserving nominee in many of them. So The Substance wins 5, and The Brutalist also wins 5, I believe. Anora, I didn't give anything to Anora. It's not my favorite. I like it, but it's I don't love it. I gave Wicked the things it's going to win anyways at the Oscars, even though I'd honestly prefer something cool like Nosferatu win those. But I can objectively vote for things that I think are the best, even though they're not my favorite. I can separate the two sometimes. So that's all I got for you today. I can't wait to watch the Oscars tonight and freak out at what wins and talk to you about it after the fact. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.